Hello, uglies. It's Desmond,
And LaCresha.
and welcome back to the channel.
Ooh.
And today we are here to discuss the Boulet Brothers Dragula, Season 5, Episode 4, The Rock, the Gods of Rock, the Monsters of Rock. Yeah, them. All them. We know what
The
we're talking
something
about.
of rock.
It's the monsters, darling.
The monsters.
They did the monster mash.
What is the mash?
It was a graveyard smash.
What is the
But before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. We are only 25 subscribers away from reaching our goal of 500 subscribers. So, subscribe to the channel so that you can join, and we'll love you forever and always. And while you're showing the love, please don't forget to go show some love to our Patreon, Cretia and Desmond. It is also linked in the description. You could have a hoot with us, or you can have a hoot and a half. And there's so many fun little perks. And if there's anything you want to see from us through this Patreon, just let us know. We might be able to make that work for you. But there's
Yes.
already a lot of content waiting for you as soon as you enter those doors. So go ahead, have a good time, because I've had a good time putting all that stuff on there. So let us know. Now, what did we think of this episode?
This was an interesting
It
episode.
was an interesting episode, and for a show who has tried its damnedest to be say, "Oh, we are not Drag Race," it is slowly turning into Drag Race episode after
Episode.
after new main stage after.
Season after season after season.
But I really do enjoy Dragula, and I feel like there is so much of a distinctive theme and a distinctive flow that Dragula has that Drag Race doesn't. So I don't think they're gonna be, coming for the gig anytime soon. But
They're not going to replace it.
yeah, and I'm glad they're incorporating some more things that we know from Drag Race into the show.
Right, because it makes it easier to relate.
Not even to relate, it makes it. We'll talk about it more about the extermination, but they go on tour. What are they going to do while they're on tour? Perform. So it makes sense that the extermination was what it was.
Yeah.
So we can get a little sneak peek. We make sure we know what we
get a taste.
Yeah, make sure we can trust you into holding a tour down. Because y'all go all around the world. We go all around the world. Where we stop, nobody knows. Now, if y'all know where that's from, y'all are real. Y'all are real, because that is one of my favorite movies that it came from. Yes. Anyway, so let's get into this episode. So we start off with our introduction from the Boulets. That's something they've been doing. And then we get immediately to the laboratory.
Yes.
They come in, and it's just, I'm over this whole mistreatment of JK.
Yes, definitely.
I really am. I am over, and like now Fantasia done jumped in on it, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, sis,
Right.
like what's going on here? And then they're on the confessional like, oh, it's not even that big of a deal that Orgotic poured a drink on JK. I'm sorry, I disagree.
The
because
gaslighting in that situation.
And my thing is, if JK would have done it to Orgotic, I guarantee you JK would have got sent home.
Exactly. And everybody would have been sitting there chomping at the bit for it.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't understand it. I really don't.
I swear, I feel like what happened was she's like, everybody was kikiing with everybody in the first episode. And then she just came a little too real. They didn't like that and gotten their feelings about it. And now they want to send her home.
And then Cynthia want to sit in the confessional talking about it was just a splash. I don't care how much is in there. And we talked about it last week about how much just a little splash at the end is. Spit.
Exactly.
Don't. So we find
it's
out.
Like, and then what got me was everybody was acting all surprised. Oh my God, really? She dropped a drink on you? You all were right there cheering right along with me.
Now, when they showed the replay, I truly believe Cynthia when she says she didn't see it, because when it happened, the whole time she's holding her drink up like this, and she's drinking. She never looks over that direction. So I truly believe she didn't see it. But her reaction to after finding out is what irritated me.
Right.
And then like, Blackberry ringing the bell after she did it. That pissed me off.
Oh, it was just a little drop.
No, but Organic came back, and they're continuing on with this romance story with Organic and Neo. I love how JK was like, "We are not doing that this season." No. So that lets me know.
It was just so funny because JK was like, I mean, Organic is fine and everything, but
yeah, so it's just like, I'm glad. It seems like they're just going to tease it throughout the thing. It's not going to be a major storyline. It's just going to be like, oh yeah, that happened that season.
Right. I hope so.
I wish they would have did that with Titans. My God. My God.
Yep. I have PTSD from that.
Baby,
that series.
as soon as I started seeing them getting close, I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And like when I saw the little thing with them on both sides, the screenshot I got, I was like, oh God, no, I can't go through this again. I can't. I can't. But yeah.
No, not another one.
But JK let Organic know. Try that again. Hands will be thrown.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then they handled it in the absolute best way.
Yeah, like they had their conversation. I'm like, I still would have sent Organic home this episode. You know how they had that elimination at the end? I would have waited right till the end and pulled like what RuPaul did with Willem. Organic, can you please step forward? But yeah, then Organic let the world know that she's going after Jarvis. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Baby, you peed in the sand, so now here I come.
Mm-hmm.
You drew your line. Now I'm finna be all up in your business. And poor Jarvis, she was like,
She's like, but I was just having fun.
Now I'm finna have fun and send you home.
And step on your grave.
And Organic's like, I'm gonna put a curse, and apparently the curse worked.
Oh.
The curse worked. Okay. But then we found out anaphylactic. Am I saying that right? Anaphylactic?
Yes.
Okay, so anaphylactic
you
came
said
in.
it right the first time. Look at you go.
Came in and again, I guess something we haven't seen, but like Blackberry, really. I was like, oh, okay, Blackberry. I'm like, all right, we're going in, but that's cool. We're gonna talk more about it later because Anna's on my shit list right now. So, the alarm goes off and the Boulets pop up on the TV screen. One thing I love is each week they are bloodier and bloodier. Have you been noticing that? The first week they were all nice and clean. Now look at them. They got cuts, blood smeared. I'm like, okay, I see what we're doing here. I can't wait to see this progression on how this goes. They confirmed that there's 9 episodes. And also, they're going to do a 3-week break. Did you read that? They're doing a 3-week break. Shit. It's like the week before Christmas, the week of Christmas, and the week of Christmas, the week after, and that first week of the new year.
They're going to have a break?
They're going to have a break, and then they'll come back for the last, 2 or 3 episodes, and they'll wrap up the season.
Well, dang.
Yeah, so we won't have a crowned monster until 2024.
Gee. Yeah, they need to start airing this during October instead of the last day of October.
And they did last year. They started, I think, in October, and it finished just fine. But like I suggested in the first or maybe the second episode, have it end on Halloween. So if that means if you need to start June, July.
Something.
Or even, late July. Because if they're going to do 9, 10 episodes, late July so that it'll end on Halloween.
Yeah,
August,
late July.
September, October. Oh no, that's too many weeks. So late September. No, late July,
No,
August, late
it would be
August.
like the last week of July
No, because it's only
or
9
the first
weeks.
week of August. Okay, so then the first week of August.
The end of August, and it'll go into September and October, and it'll end around,
Yeah.
yeah. So late August, ended in October. I think that'll be a great time frame for Dragula.
Yes.
But yeah, we find out this week that they are doing the Rock Challenge. They
Mm-hmm.
do it every season. I think they've done it since season 2, and it's one of my favorite ones. So they have
Mm-hmm.
to come up with a Monsters of Rock look to present
Mm-hmm.
on the main stage, and then somebody will be eliminated on the spot. Now, when they said on the spot, I thought like after the floor show they were like, "You were the worst, leave."
Facts.
That's what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting an extermination,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, oh, okay, okay. And then after that, they're going to be recording vocals on the Boulet's new metal track. I forget the name of it. Um, Gods of Death. There it is. Gods of Death. My only thing is, like, I can do a lot of drama, a lot of genres, but I'm not sure about metal. Like, that's the one
Is
area I
this
feel like
not
I
the
would slack.
remake of George Michael's "You Gotta Have Faith" or "Annie, Are You Okay"? I'm gonna have a problem.
Like, it's just,
Annie, are you okay?
I don't know how well I would do, darling. How well I would do. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, so they have to get their monster look together. So right off the jump, right after, I don't know who pissed off Fantasia this episode,
Okay.
but JK got the raw end of it.
No. Okay. JK gets the raw end of everybody's business.
Because, JK stated that, like, hey, how are you going to do? Because I know this isn't your normal genre. And she was like, oh no, I'm
Mm-hmm.
an entertainer. I do blah, 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 blah. I could do this, I could do that. I said this wasn't my arena. And I'm like, isn't that the same thing?
The same thing.
I'm like, it's not your arena. Okay.
It's not your comfort zone. What did you think she meant when she said
With this genre. But okay. And even JK was
her
like, "Oh, I didn't
genre?
say it right. It was like I didn't say this was her arena. I was like, okay, yeah, okay, okay."
I don't know. Somebody was in their feelings.
But then we have this little moment between Anaphylactic and Blackberry, which Blackberry's been throwing slugs at Anna for about 2, 3 episodes now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, I know you're talking about me. I don't understand why you're throwing digs this direction, but you should be up front instead of just throwing daggers. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I would have done that too, but what really pissed me off about Anna was the microaggression that she did. Did you catch it?
No.
So Blackberry said something, and she was like, "Well, blah blah blah, girl," and then Anna was like, "Whatever, girl." I'm like, I paused. No, I did not pause. Those just saw my reaction. I remember looking around. I'm like, did she? What was that? She didn't say girl like that. I can understand if you were mimicking it, but why are you putting the
Girling.
black scent on the girl when it wasn't even said that way? That rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna need Anna
Mm-hmm.
to do better. So once them two calm down, Cynthia asked a question to JK about the situation with Fantasia.
Uh-huh.
JK gave her honest answer. But then Fantasia went after JK.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we mad at JK for answering a question? And the way she was talking to JK, it was like JK just brought it up out of the blue. And I'm like, no. Cynthia, and even JK said that Cynthia asked me a question, so you should really be mad at Cynthia. She's the
Right.
one who brought this up. I'm just answering a question.
Exactly.
I was, again, Fantasia, I was very confused. We did get a bit on her backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which was, hold on, Desmond, get yourself together.
Once
We,
upon a time.
not even once upon a time, but we got a bit of her backstory. And I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed hearing more about her past and how she was a fugitive for, I believe, 7 years, she said,
Yeah.
behind check fraud. Um, doing what she had to do to survive, honey. I think we've all been
Mm-hmm.
there.
Oh, trust me, yeah, because I have unironically gone to jail for the same thing.
So it's just like, we understand. And I'm like,
Mm,
I don't think it excuses her behavior in this episode, but it does
mm-mm.
give me more like, okay, she's a human like the rest of us. And that's always an
Right.
important a part to see. And it's not like I'm going to hold a grudge against Fantasia. Baby, this is a TV show.
Exactly.
It's a TV show for
Because
our
who knows what was
entertainment.
said behind closed doors.
Yeah, it's like whenever they do the Dragula tour, I missed out on the Titans. And I'm really upset about that.
Me too.
But I'm gonna try my damnedest to hit the next tour whenever they do this tour next year. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we had that moment. They're getting ready. We get the false like, oh, get to the main stage. And they're like, oh no, we're not ready. That's my favorite part. It's just so silly. It's just so silly. So we get to the new and improved main stage, and we have the Boulets here. What do we think of their
Hmm.
look this week?
It looks a little dowdy. It looks good, but it looks a little dowdy.
Dowdy?
Yes.
What
Like
is?
it makes them look old.
Well, I don't want to call them old, but they're not in their 20s anymore.
Well, I know that. I'm not saying oh they need to dress like they're in their 20s. They just don't need to dress like they're the queen mother.
I like this look. And compared to the other looks, I will say this has probably been my least favorite. But
Mhm. It's
I,
still a good look.
it's still a good look, and I've enjoyed whoever has been putting these looks together. So this week, we were joined by Swantula Boulet and Dragula.
Those names.
I love how they did that because there is no special guest judge this week, which I thought it was weird. I'm like, they should, unless they're just gonna have a really big name next week.
Mhm.
I'm like, they could at least got Landon to sit in because Landon's a rotating judge this season.
Right.
They could have had Landon sit in with them for this, keep it in the family. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think this is the first time in Dragula where there has not been a guest judge. But I thought it was cute how they introduced each other. I'm like, oh, I actually like that. Um, but it's now time for the floor show. So, LaCresha,
Hmm.
Roxy St. James has been casted on the 5th season of the Boulet Brothers Dragula. You need to
Hmm.
bring a rock look,
Rock.
a
Wood.
monster of rock. You can be an
Rock.
inspiration from another rock star. You can come up with something completely original. What
Hmm.
would Roxy St. James bring to the main stage?
I don't know.
Now you know this
Like I look.
question's this question's gonna come.
Okay, but you have to think about what you're asking me because this is like self-interpretation. So this is not like, oh, this is this reference or you're referencing this or oh, this is the material you would use. This is like what from your imagination would you do
But you could
to
also do
represent
a reference if you choose, because several did.
right. Uh, I don't know because I don't watch, read, or listen to a lot of rock.
Um, I don't either, but I am a big fan of the oldies as we call them now.
Mm.
So I'm thinking of who the rock stars of yesteryear was. And I think I would have done maybe a Joan Jett inspired look, maybe. Cause I want to give a little edgy to it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even
Mm-hmm.
go 80s hairband. Maybe do a combination of the two. Give a little Joan
Mm-hmm.
Jett, a little 80s hairband. You know, the glitter, the sparkles, the crazy movements. That's the route I
Mm-hmm.
would have gone with it. That's the route I would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
So up first is anaphylactic.
Phylactic.
Phylactic. I don't know where phylactic came from.
Okay, there's no
Anaphylactic.
I.
Anaphylactic. What did we think of Anna's look this week?
She looks like a rock zombie.
Yeah, but I'm confused by the tights though. Why are they green?
Don't know, because the rest of her is white.
Yeah, so like if it was that same white, I would understand. Or if her skin was green and she painted her face green, that would have made sense to me. But like the tights throw me off, and I'm not a big fan of the boots. But from the knee up, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it very much. Moving on to Blackberry. Now, I wish
Oh.
Blackberry was able to get those spikes that she was working on to work.
Mm-hmm.
But even without that, I thought this was a good look. I was very confused about the negative critiques, and I was very confused about her being that close to the bottom too. It was one of my favorites of the week, I would have put her at the
Mm-hmm.
top.
I think because they were nitpicking because of, obviously she did contour her head for those spikes and then probably didn't have enough time to go back and correct it. But there was no need for her to be that close to the bottom, especially when you sat there and you talked yourself out of the negative comment. Yeah.
So up next we have Neo Haru X. I'm so tired of them giving her a pass. What about this screams rock?
Absolutely nothing.
Although there's a microphone in the sword headpiece there.
The katana sword
Oh, yay.
saber combo.
But honestly, I would have put her. I want to put her up for elimination, but she would have got critiques. I'm like, you are not following the prompts. This is a consistent thing with you. We're asking you for this category, and you're not delivering it. And I understand, that you're supposed to do your drag character's interpretation of this, but at the same time, it still needs to fit the category. If I would have saw this, I would not have thought the category was Monsters of Rock.
No, I would have thought it was like Asian monsters.
I would have thought I don't know what I would have thought, but Monsters of Rock was not the first stop. And she was in the top for this, and I'm like, but she's not doing what y'all ask. And I believe they said something. Y'all can correct me. They said so. Oh, we just love everything you do, even if it's not technically
Correct.
correct. No,
No, you can't make that pass
I'm
because then you
sorry.
make it blatantly
No.
obvious who it is you want to win.
And that's what it is. It's just like, what's the point of keep watching if we know you're going to crown either Neo or Gotic?
Exactly.
Let's be real. But let's move on. She looked good, though. I do want to say that. She looked good. It's just not the category. Up next is Jarvis Hammer. I see the inspiration. I just don't think this was executed properly.
I don't see the inspiration, and I agree. It looks like a who.
I laughed at that. But yeah, it's just Jarvis tried. This just was not a good week for Jarvis. It really wasn't. That spell that Orgotic put on them, it worked, okay? Up next is Fantasia Royale Gaga. What did you think of Fantasia this week, darling?
Baby.
Baby, this is correct.
She said, rock, I will give you grunge rock realness.
Yes, and there's a little Tina Turner in there, the queen of rock and roll.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed this. And like during the floor show, I got screenshots of it when she took off the wig and the glitter just flowed down. I'm like, oh, I already knew she was winning this week, but that moment just cemented it. I'm like, yeah, she's winning. This is hers. If she don't win, baby, they are rigging this.
The
Rigamorous.
rigurations.
My goodness. Well, what did you think of this look?
Oh, I loved it. It was just enough.
Moving on to JK. What did you think of this look? I'll go with you first.
They tried.
I do. Do I think it's like the best of the best? No.
No,
But again, I don't agree with JK's placement this week.
I honestly feel like they are are judging somebody who kind of like just doesn't have the resources to get the same materials that everybody else is doing, and they're putting the time and effort into their outfits, but they're doing it within the context of what they have to give.
And I don't think this look was bad enough to be bottom two worthy. Me personally.
No.
Honestly, this is a safe look for me.
Hmm.
I'm a little triggered. I'm a little triggered because I used to hang out with people who dressed very similar to this, and we did not make the best of decisions. Um, it introduced, but it did introduce me to some amazing music like the Millionaires, Blood on the Dance Floor, which I found out Dali was a member of, and I'm like, not
Hey,
me being a fan of Dali before I even knew who Dali was. And
look
like
at
their
you.
song Candyland, I still listen to often. Like I have it on. It's not on Spotify, but I bought it years ago, so it's in my iTunes collection. So I'll run over there and listen to it ever so often. And I just, yeah. So they introduced me to some very interesting music, and they dressed very much like this. And
Like
we did
that.
not make the best of choices. But I love them, and I hope they're doing great. Um, One of them I'm still friends with on Facebook. Oh, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know she's dressed like this, baby. She done got. I believe she's married. I know she has a kid, but I believe she's married too. And I'm like, girl, that ain't the same girl I knew. Okay, come on, growth. Come on, growth.
Facts.
Shoot, like she didn't have to change because she was a great person, but
Hmm.
well, come on, growth. Up next is Orgotic. Now, when Orgotic first came out, I'm sitting there, I'm like, this doesn't give me Monsters of
Rock.
Rock. It doesn't.
Right.
It does give Monster, but then they said
Yes.
something, I think they said in the confessional, or maybe even in the laboratory. Um, did you get that to my laboratory? That their reference was the demon you would see on the cover of the albums. And I'm like, okay,
Ah.
that's a technical, a very
That's an overthink.
it's a okay. I will let it slide. I will let it slide. But yeah. So what did you think of Orgotic's look this week?
It was scary. I like the reference somebody made. They were like, "That is the bat that who was it? Ozzy Osbourne bit the head
Oh
off
my
of."
god, yes, I saw that. So up next is Cynthia Doll.
Cynthia Dole.
Uh
She looks more like a wrestler than a rocker.
you took the words right out of my mouth. This gives me very much 80s wrestler on her way to the ring to call
Mm-hmm.
somebody a bitch and do a power slam on them.
With her butt.
Maybe get up there and give them a nice little elbow drop. You know,
Little DDT.
back when the wrestling was extremely over dramatic,
Mm-hmm.
like very glamorous ladies of wrestling. Glow, for
Mm-hmm.
those who watch the show, I was familiar with Glow. Because I'm a big fan of Ivory, and Ivory started in Glow. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
um, Yeah, it gave more wrestler than Rock.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I really thought she was gonna be in the bottom. Possibly,
Yeah.
possibly. So moving on to Throb Zombie, I love this.
The Elvis reference.
As soon as they came out, I'm like, yes, give me that Elvis representation, okay? You know, I have a love hate thing with Elvis
Mm-hmm.
because I realize I haven't watched the movie, but I've always been told it was really his team behind him that really made those decisions for him.
Yeah, I mean, and you could believe it, especially the way, like Dreamgirls was
Yeah,
produced.
knowing how they treated their artists back then, I can believe all his decisions were made for him.
Yes. I mean, and they do that now.
Yeah, yeah. But maybe they're just a little bit more conscious with how they're doing it. And if they're going to completely rip off somebody, they're going to at least give some credit.
Yeah, because they'll get sued if they don't.
Yeah, like they don't have to wait 30, 40 years later before that artist finally gets the proper acknowledgement that she deserved.
Facts.
And then I have a big issue of the age of Priscilla when they first met and were living together.
I mean, everybody was doing it.
I I hate that excuse. I really
I'm,
do.
I'm not giving an excuse. I'm
I
just saying,
hate
like,
that
that's what they were
excuse.
going to say.
I hate that excuse. It was disgusting now, and it was disgusting then. I have the same energy for Jerry Lewis, who did it multiple
Hmm.
times, and to his
With a cousin.
cousin. And to his cousin. I remember my granny showed me that movie. I'm like, cousin? No, no. I got itchy. No.
Hmm.
No.
14.
Gross. And then, you see it like in movies in the color purple. Like, that grown ass man had no business with them children.
Okay.
But I am excited for the musical that's coming out on Christmas or the week before
Mm.
Christmas or somewhere around Christmas. I gotta see
I
it.
think it's like the week of Christmas.
I gotta see it. I'm gonna be in that theater one way or another. But back to Throb Zombie, great look. Great look. I loved it so much. Let's move onwards to that was the end. We're now to the floor show where I got these screenshots of Fantasia with that glitter just falling and her looking beautiful.
Mm.
So, out of all of our monsters this week, who had your favorite look?
Mm. Hmm. Fantasia.
I agree. Fantasia had my favorite look as well. So this week they all stayed on the main stage for critique, but there was a top and bottom for the week. So in the
Mm-hmm.
top there was Fantasia, Neo, and Orgotic. In the bottom was Blackberry, JK, and Jarvis Hammer. Do you agree with that top and bottom placement?
I don't think Blackberry should have been down there.
I don't. I think Blackberry should have been in the top. I think it should have been Fantasia, Blackberry, and Throb Zombie,
Mm-hmm.
if we're going to be honest. And then I think the bottom should have been Neo, Cynthia, and Jarvis. And then we find out, there's a bottom two. So I would have done Cynthia and Jarvis in the bottom two. But plot twist, I wouldn't have sent neither one of them home because after they do their extermination was when I would have called Orgotic up. And
Mm.
be like, hey, honey, you know what you did last episode? Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Bye, bitch. Goodbye.
He said, "Bye, bitch."
Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Just saying. But we find out that Fantasia Royale Gaga is the winner of this week's challenge. Do we agree?
Yeah, deservedly so.
Oh, yeah, she ate that up. And we find out that the bottom two is JK and Jarvis Hammer. So they announced that this week's extermination is a lip sync for your life.
Like literally.
Like then they didn't say, they just said a lip sync challenge, but it was a lip sync for your life.
For your life.
So how did you feel about the first ever lip sync on the show?
I was like, what? Are we lip syncing now?
And like I said earlier, it makes sense because you're going on tour and most queens lip sync.
Exactly.
Some sing live, some, do what they do. But at the core of it, majority of the queens, performers, lip sync. So I'm like, honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they incorporated more lip sync for your lives. I know this is not a Drag Race, but I'm going to keep calling it lip sync for your life.
Let's see here, the context makes sense.
So,
lip sync for your life.
Yeah. Honestly, if it wasn't already taken, this would have been a perfect time.
Exactly.
But yes, so they had to dim the lights, start the music, and let the floor show begin. So I Shazammed the song because they didn't tell us what song it was. So I'm looking at it now. It was called Worldwide Torture by Jasmine Bean. And yes, I will be adding it to the playlist because I thought it was really cute.
No, I like that.
I'm like, I like that song. And poor Jarvis. JK ate them up. Oh,
Bad.
ate them up.
Bad.
I'm like,
ate, left no crumbs.
I'm like, Jarvis.
You didn't have to eat that bad.
Jarvis, do something. No, Jarvis, let's go. It felt very much. It felt very much. Charlie High standing there doing this. That's pretty much what I got from Jarvis. I'm like, no.
Look, and JK said, I'm going to use all this stage. I'm going to flip all y'all off. If I going home, I'm going home with a bang.
But the Boulets made their decision. And Jarvis Hammer. I'm sorry, my dear, but they have asked you to sashay away.
Away.
So after Jarvis sashays away, we find out that the team captains for the rock, so the second part of this challenge, where they get to do the rock groups, is Fantasia and Orgotic. And the teams are Fantasia, Neo, Anna, and Blackberry. And then on team 2, we have Orgotic, Cynthia, Throb, and JK. So I'm intrigued, and I completely forgot to get a picture of Jarvis's death scene. But apparently, it is the same way that her namesake, who she named her character after, died in the movie. And I'm like, oh, but the Boulet said that was going to be the planned death regardless for that episode. It just happened to work out that it was Jarvis that went home. But yes, that was our episode. A decent episode. I'm excited for the actual rock group portion. I'm ready for them to do some rocking. And I'm excited to hear them, record verses on a song. Since we didn't get, we ain't been getting remixes here lately. It'll be nice to get a Boulet mix. A Boo mix.
Hey,
a Boo mix. Oh, I love it. It's the Boo mix. I love it. I love it so much. Love it so much. But let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Cresha, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Cresha McGill. That's CRESHAMCGILL on all social media.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Simply Desmond. That's SIMPLYDESMOND. Thank you so much for spending a piece of your day with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you later. Bye.